Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. Today I will be making vanilla chocolate chip cookies. Most of the cookies I posted on my channel are crunchy cookies, and today those are on the softer side. And the chocolate chips I'm using are the mini chocolate chips. If you like white chocolate, you can mix dark and white or just use white, so that's an option for you. And on the end, you can either dip those cookies in thicker brown sugar or vanilla sugar. I just made those cookies this past weekend, and of course my children, once they find out that I'm making this recipe today, yay, cookies again after school. So I'm sure that it's gonna be a hard time getting them to eat dinner. I hope you will enjoy them as much as my kids do. Vanilla chocolate chip cookies today. Welcome to my kitchen and thank you for watching. And the ingredients I need today are 1 3/4 cup of flour, which is about 225 grams, 1 stick of butter, 1 egg, 3/4 cup of sugar, which should be about 160 grams, vanilla extract, have a teaspoon of baking soda, have a teaspoon of baking powder, and about 3/4 cup of mini chocolate chips. You can also mix white chocolate with the dark chocolate if you like white chocolate, and extra sugar to dip your cookie before baking. And these are the ingredients for today. First thing I do is put a pinch of salt in the flour and also baking soda and baking powder, and again have a teaspoon of each. This will go on the end. Now sugar and butter. And vanilla extract. And this I will need to blend for about 3 minutes or so. Since it's a small project, I won't be using the big mixer. I will be using a handheld mixer. And as most of you know it, I'm very inventive to make sure that I have free hands and make my job easier. So that's my invention. And about 3-4 minutes later, it is nice and creamy. The sugar got dissolved with the butter, and it is time to put an egg in. Okay, egg in. Okay, the egg got mixed with the sugar and butter. It's nice and creamy. And now I do not want to mix it no more. I want to get the flour and just mix it slowly with a spolta. If you over mix it in a blender, your cookies might not come out soft. They might be tough. So I want to gently fold the flour in. Okay, and once mixed, I can put chocolate chips in. I have about 80 grams of those chocolate chips. You can put less or you can put a little bit more, up to 100. I like the mini ones because you have them in your cookie, you have more of them distributed all around. So every bite will have those chocolate chip cookies. With the bigger ones, you have it more spread out. Okay, and I will just finish with my hand to make sure that mixed as evenly as possible. Okay, that looks good. And now I will take baking sheet and weight about 30 grams for each cookie. Form a ball and dip it in that sugar. And now I can only imagine once my kids get back from school right away, oh, mama, smells like cookies. And they will try to grab some before dinner. So of course, there will be an issue eating dinner. But I chose that business for myself, so part of it is my fault. And out of this recipe, you should have about 21 cookies. Once those are shaped, it is time to put them either in the fridge for 20 minutes or freezer for maybe 8 to 10. I choose to put them in the freezer because it's faster, and at the same time I can preheat my oven to about 350. And those are ready to be baked. 8 minutes in the freezer, and my oven is preheated to 350. And now I will set the timer for 11 minutes. It should take about 12, but always give yourself a minute before for such a short amount of time baking, just to make sure they do need additional minutes. So I will see you when those are ready. And those are ready. Beautiful. Did not lose its shape. And that's one of the reasons I do put them in the fridge, so they don't lose its shape, because there is butter, pretty big amount of butter, and butter melts in heat. So if you didn't put it in fridge, that would be really, really flat for you. If you put it in the fridge, the shape is more puffier. It just looks nicer, but you can see the gold color. I'm not going to touch them right now, they are too hot, and I don't want them to break. 15-20 minutes, once they cooled off, I will break them and then come closer with the camera. But I made those, couple of them, not putting them in the fridge, just straight in the oven, and I want to show you the difference. So here is the one that was not in the fridge. See how flat it is? The butter melted, and the cookie is pretty flat. And how do you know those are ready? You will have this nice golden color on the bottom and edges, and that's the time to take them out. Once they cool. And here is a closer look, and you can see the difference between the ones that were in the fridge and the one that wasn't. How do you know your cookie is ready? When you have just a very light golden color on the edges. If you over-bake them, then they won't be soft inside anymore. They will be crunchy. So it's important to pay attention. 11-12 minutes should be plenty of time for your cookies to be ready. Okay, and they should look like this. Just a golden color. If they become brown, then you bake them too long. Enjoy your baking. Thank you for watching, and bon appetit. Smacznego. I would like to let you know why I am a big fan of using scale instead of the cups. I do put measurements in cups, so it's easier. As you know, I'm from Europe, so everything for me is in grams. And here in United States, any recipes you have is usually in cups. But I want you to pay attention to one thing, so take it as a tip. I learned by mistakes because I've done it before. So I have put together a flour, the same flour, all-purpose flour, into the same measuring cups. Exactly 2 cups in here and exactly 2 cups in here. But I want to measure it using the scale and show you if there is a difference and how much of a difference it can be. So here is the first 2 cups of flour, as you can see, 2 cups. And here is exactly 2 cups, all around, no cheating. And I will turn on, and there's nothing here. My scale, so it's set to 0. Maybe I should show you. So it's set to 0. If you can see. Okay, and I will put the first 2 cups in. and it says it is 248 grams. So now I will take this into a different cup, and it's empty. Put it back. It comes back to 0. And now the other 2 cups. All of it. And this one is 314. So now you can see that 2 cups are not created equal, right? They do not measure on a scale the same. So why is that? Well, it's all about handling the flour. If we are gentle with it, the flour is fluffy, it's light, and then 2 cups, nice fluffy flour. If you handle the flour, shake it, kind of bang it, on the surface somewhere, it loses its volume because it becomes dense. So you keep adding to have exactly 2 cups, right? Well, but it's much more heavier. It's much more flour that you need. So if you ever had a cake and you tried to follow the measurements and directions and the cake wasn't quite the way you hoped, it wasn't as fluffy, it wasn't as delicate, it wasn't as soft, well, maybe because there was too much flour. So it's just a tip, and I hope you will find it helpful to kind of pay attention to how we handle flours. I know how it is when you bake something and you put your heart into it, time into it, and then it doesn't come out the way you hope for. And it's frustrating. So I hope this helps. Thank you for watching.